and welcome to another training video for the ICRS patient registry. Today I'm going to show you how you can enroll your own patients into the registry on your own portal. If you want your patients to enroll themselves, which is what we would recommend, please watch our other video on how the patients can enroll themselves. However, if for any reason you need to enroll a patient on their behalf, or you would rather enroll the patient on their behalf, then this is the video for you. So the first thing that you will need to do is to log into your portal. And once you reach the portal, you'll get to a landing page that looks like this. So this is the test system that I'm using, which is why everything is red. Your system will look exactly the same, but the top banner will be blue. So to add a patient, it's very simple. You can go to this big button on the left-hand side of the screen to add patient, or we've got the same button on the top of the screen here, which also adds a patient or a pathway. So I'm going to start here. So the first thing to let you know about is that you can create an identified patient where you know their name, surname, and have other identifiers about the patient, or you can also create an anonymous patient by toggling this button off and on. And that allows you to enter patient data without the patient identifier information accessible to you and to your delegates. So if you're putting in an identified patient, then you can put the hospital number and national identifier here. So there's a number of different ones, and the title and name of the patient. The only thing that you have to really put in for your own benefit is the name of the patient. So what I'll do first is I'll put in a patient that already exists in the system. Now you'll see that test has already been put in the test system numerous times. So you'll be asked to check whether any of these patients are the one that you're wanting to put in. And if it is, then you don't need to create a new patient. You can just find the patient that you need. However, we would like to create a new patient. So I'll call this one testing. And you can see that there's no existing patients with this name. So you can create a new patient now. So the next thing is you should let the system know whether you have recorded consent from the patient to put their details into the registry. So you can click here whether consent is given or not. And in this case, I'll say that the consent has been given, in which case we can add some more data on the patient. So you'll need their date of birth. So I'm just going to put this 1st of March this year. Ideally, if you've spoken to the patient about putting their data into the registry, you'll have their email address. And this is really useful because it allows us to contact the patient when they need to fill in their questionnaires. And this is an automatic process, and there will be no work for you once you've put the email address in. So hopefully you would have this data available for the registry. But you'll see that none of this is mandatory. So you can now create a new patient, and the patient has now been created. And the next thing that you can do is to add and open a pathway to add in some information about that patient. So before we do that, we need to select whether it's a right or left side and add an open pathway. And then you'll get to this page, which shows you the tasks that need to be completed by yourself. So you'll see that for the patient, there are a couple of forms that they will need to fill in. And once you've created the patient, they will get an automatic email to fill in these questionnaires. So these should get filled in within the next couple of days, depending on when your patient fills in that information. If the patient is unable to complete those tasks, for example, if they don't have a computer or a smartphone that can do that for them, then you can administer the assessments with them. So you can fill in these forms on behalf of the patient or with the patient. And then these two things are for you to complete for the patient. So this is the clinical assessment. And then once you do the procedure, the treatment, you will fill in this form. So that is how you add a patient. If you want further information on how to fill in these two forms, then please watch our other tutorials. Thank you very much.